welcome to Simply Sassy's Out of Our League, where we talk to really cool people about the cool things that they're doing. This week, I'm your host, Cesar Torres. Joining me on our panel of two Simply Sassy hosts is Gage. Hey, Gage.
What's up?
And we got a really big guest panel of people you may know or may not know, known as Shared Screens. Joining us from Shared Screens, we got Alec Bobko, Austin, Perchance. Well, it's Perchance. I don't know.
Perchance, chance is fine.
Perchance, chance, yeah. Lay Aaron, and some other Josh.
Thanks
Welcome,
for having
everybody.
us.
Thank you.
They probably don't know us, by the way. Someone you probably don't know yet.
If they don't know you, who are you? How would you describe what you guys do over there in like a really quick bite?
Hi, we're Shared Screens. We create anything that we want, and it gets views or it doesn't. That's what we do around pop culture at all. That's pretty much the statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
We made an NBA podcast last week.
Wait, who just left?
I Austin.
The guy that was talking.
Oh my god.
Okay, picking back up. Yeah, we make whatever we want.
I think I just moved him out of the call on accident while trying to fix audio.
Oh my god. That was just like
I'm
the most
so
quiet
sorry.
you.
What just happened?
This podcast is going great. This is one of the best ones. You guys are in for a treat.
It put me in a secret. What happened?
I was adjusting your audio and I was trying to click off, but I actually went to move to and just sent you to some random server, and I don't know what the hell just happened.
Secret. Oh, did you move into Game Sass?
It was probably one of our. We have we have a bunch of random ass servers on here that we never use.
You moved me to a server, and I was there by myself, and I saw the padlock, and I was like, "What did I do?
How did I?"
They put you in jail.
Everybody was like, "Who left?" And I just went, "The guy that was talking."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, God.
That's a great example of what I think both of our content is like.
Yeah. Are we still
So
rolling?
you guys do, we're still going.
We're still going.
Yeah.
We're still
Please,
going.
God.
Why would we stop?
Oh god.
Train keeps going.
Train wreck. The train just keeps going. It just don't stop. And so you guys make podcasts, and a lot of stuff can happen during a podcast. A lot of accidents might happen.
Exhibit A.
Anybody almost start a fire during a podcast?
I wasn't even
Good
officially in Shared Screens yet when I moved to California, and now I'm a little bitch, and so I burn sage sometimes because I like the way it smells. And we were recording a Marvel podcast, and I had sage burning on like a little incense plate in the background. All of a sudden I hear a thud, and I turn, and the incense plate is on the ground, and the lit thing of sage is just on my wood floor. My cat's staring at it. I literally just run off screen and come back. I was like, "I'm sorry, I just almost set my apartment on fire. Let's keep going. Everything's fine. It's fine."
With it.
Just
So
I vaguely remember that.
Your cat knocked it on the floor? Is that what happened?
No, it just fell near her, and she was like,
She's just like, huh.
That's probably
She's just
bad.
like looking at.
And I mean,
And
I've accidentally punched her on podcasts. Like, she's a type.
That's when we knew Leanne had to join us full time, and
That was the moment.
Grateful she did. Yeah.
Well,
Was
like she
it-
said,
was
it was before you joined, right? It was before you
Yeah.
officially joined. This is back in the Waypoint days.
Yeah,
You guys used to be known as Waypoint.
As of like a week ago.
yes.
Like very recent. Like very recent.
Very recent. Rebrand.
And you
We don't
guys
like to talk about it.
you guys put out like a tweet. Let me see if I can. Or you guys got a message from the owners of the actual Waypoint podcast.
Yeah.
Advice.
This was all Josh's idea.
I was gonna say, who wrote this? Because when I read this, I
Who
smell
wrote it?
Pabst Blue Ribbon
Aaron
beer.
wrote it.
I wrote it.
You
It was
wrote it.
Josh's idea,
You
but
smell
I
Pabst.
made the letterhead and wrote it.
When I
on
read
that.
this, I smell Chris Rumblepack all over.
Oh my
this
god,
shit.
right?
Hot.
Because
No, it
I
was
read this
Aaron.
and I go to the
That was
part where
only
it's
Aaron.
like, I go to the part where it's like, what do you think you can do it with the? You can be wait.
It's the lizard.
What do you
king
think
model
you
of
can
God.
be? Us with your fucking 400 followers. Well, my clients will not be used by some ineffectual, privileged, effete, soft penis debutante.
Debutante, yep.
don't even know.
You want to start a street fight? This is the part that really got me. You want to start a street fight with me? Bring it on. But you're gonna be surprised by how ugly it gets. You don't even know my real name. I'm the fucking Lizard King. That for some reason reads to me like something Chris would do.
Yeah.
So
Right. I
Feel
feel
that.
that.
I
Yeah.
just love the Lizard King monologue from The Office that Robert California says to Andy, and I couldn't think what else to like. I looked up real cease and desist letters, and they don't say much. It's just like, "Hey, stop doing what you're doing.
Stop operations,
and
yeah.
here's why." Yeah, and so I was like, "All right, I gotta make this longer." So I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna put the Lizard King monologue in here."
I love I love how you very clearly got this format from some website because at the
Oh, yeah.
bottom it's just like 1, 2, 3, anywhere street, any city, and phone numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
A
Yeah,
bunch of people didn't realize that, and they were like, "Are you guys
Yeah.
in trouble?"
I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
some of the comments were like, "You need to frame that."
Like people, I'm surprised how people like. It's like they just saw the cease and desist and the Vice logo. And it's
I
like,
saw the Vice
did
logo.
you actually
yeah.
read this?
Yeah.
Like, it's very
It says in
clearly
caps,
fake.
I'm
It's the
Lizard
internet. Of course they didn't.
I was gonna
read
say
it. Are
it's
you
very
kidding me?
telling of
People
just
are
the internet.
people
in
are kind of
general.
like just gullible, and they'll
Yeah.
just like believe in it. I
Mhm.
believed that at first, but then I read it and I was like, no,
Yeah.
This-
no.
No.
Vice gets bold with their content, but they're not
Right.
this bold. Like, you know what I mean? Like they don't.
They don't call somebody a soft penis debutante. Like,
We don't know.
That's
We don't know
not a
that.
Vice thing.
It might.
I mean, let's
Then
find out.
Josh had,
Keep pushing.
Josh had the best idea to follow up this fake cease and desist with clickbaity thumbnail of the last episode of the Waypoint podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, we wanted to go hard for
Oh.
this rebrand.
Mhm.
And so for
You're
this rebrand-
giving me real Keemstar, I'm retiring energy.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Don't
That
compare.
comparison
come
on,
is
man.
the best
Don't
thing
do
we've
that.
received so far. Now I'm
That's
here
his fuck
for
boy.
it.
fucking video, I can't. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude. Absolutely.
But yeah, so clearly there's a lot of confusion. If I'm correct, I remember there was a point where somebody would just like somebody like was upset that you guys were like genuinely upset, and they weren't even associated with Vice or whatever. There's like some person on Twitter.
Mhm.
They're like, "Why the fuck
Yeah.
are you trying to steal the
Soup
Waypoint
communion.
name or whatever?"
It
Yeah.
was Soup Communion, the person that we said that they got the
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
complete.
Info
You mentioned
from-
them, yeah.
Yeah.
We changed the screen name because I didn't want to be mean, but like, also you came at the guys really hard about
Yeah.
the
And then we
podcast from
bounced
Vice.
back at him.
We bounced back and we stuck
No,
it to them. And
I
also,
remember
Soup,
that. I was like,
Soup Communion
wow.
is a dope name. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
No
Oh,
one
it's
on
available
Twitter
on
has
Twitter.
it.
Communion.
It's
Yeah.
available.
We thought about rebranding it too.
Okay,
Yeah.
hear me out. Okay, ready for this?
Mhm.
You give Brett a show where he just talks about like soup and
Right.
like how he just like how like different types of soup.
And then it gets way more views than it should.
Yeah.
And you call
Yeah.
it soup communion, so you guys have an excuse to get the Twitter account.
It's,
Yeah. You know what? He's got a
It's-
point.
Yeah.
To
it's
clarify that
right. It'll
joke,
probably do well. Like,
Yeah.
to clarify
something
that joke,
Coldplay
out
will
of
do.
out of nowhere, Brett and Josh just hit us up and are like, "Hey, we want to make a Coldplay and review podcast. Are you guys cool with it?" And we're like, "All right." And then it is just like the best piece of like the most successful pieces of content that like we're putting out of nowhere, no good reason. I mean, Coldplay, very vanilla band,
Mhm.
to put it nicely.
To put it nicely, thank you.
What was that?
You said
What was
it.
that? I think Brett has really interesting taste.
That's one way to put that
You
as
could
well.
say that.
It
Because
came out
what
on the-
what was that thing he tweeted
What?
at the other day where it's just like, it's not Captain America. What's
Yeah,
it's
the
not-
other
Walker.
dude, Agent Carter.
Agent
John
No,
Walker.
America,
John Walker.
John Walker. Who cares what his name is?
Yeah, exactly.
But like he like saying he's Diet Pepsi.
So that
I-
actually
like,
came from our
the-
podcast last week.
Mhm.
Like when we
Yeah.
were doing the stream. I can't
He
remember
was-
who said it, but
But
He
I
said he
know-
liked
I
getting
know he
Diet
thought that was a good thing.
He said he liked
Oh,
Diet
yeah,
Pepsi
Taco
from,
Bell reviews.
and I said that makes sense because you like John Walker, and
Mhm.
John Walker is the Diet Pepsi of superheroes, and he's like, I take that as a compliment.
No.
You and nobody else.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But-
Yeah.
That makes
For
so
so
much
long.
sense.
We
yeah.
had no idea if that was a bit. I don't remember who asked him on our club of Falcon and Winter Soldier and was like, finally, like, Josh, or Brett, are you joking, or is this like you really love this character? And he goes, no, I really love this character.
I think a long time ago we were talking about Coldplay, I think it was, and it was like, you really commit to the Coldplay thing, and he's like, I got to commit to the bit. He's like, I got to really commit to it.
Yeah, he's
and
because
then,
no
like,
one
the
else
next
will.
week he bought. Yeah.
You
Like
did.
the next week he had a T-shirt and an action figure of John Walker, and like came on the fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier podcast with a shit ass grin on his face and was like, "Ooh, look at my new T-shirt!" Like,
Right.
What's
I think
crazy
he
about
literally
stuff
ordered it
like
on a
that-
podcast.
yeah.
That checks out.
What's crazy about stuff like that is like that shirt must have been like made instantly for that show.
Oh yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that's weird how the production cycle and stuff like that is.
Sure.
I don't
And
know.
then they thought that somebody would want a John Walker shirt. Like,
And they sold one out of like the
Mhm.
200,000 that they printed. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
The only
it-
purchase has been Brett.
We're also assuming he only bought one.
Yeah, I was
For the
just
record.
thinking,
Bought all of it.
Dude has 8 Mass Effect N7 shirts, so like it's not out the realm of possibilities that like that dude owns multiple pieces of John Walker merchandise.
paraphernalia.
You wore it
Mhm.
It's not
on the
merchandise, it's
Rebrand
paraphernalia.
podcast last week. Like
Oh, I'm
in
well
our
aware.
Rebrand 6-hour stream, he was wearing a John Walker T-shirt. Like,
Really
yeah.
going all on it.
The
I'm
one thing I will
totally-
say about Brett is when he commits to something, he commits. And, like, I have to hand it to him.
Yeah.
So clearly
You
you
would,
guys
like-
having a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Just
No, what were you gonna say, Chance?
I said it was a good. Oh, I forget. It's not important. Oh, just he was like so prepared. I was so surprised with like the amount of like back end work that he put into Coldplay in review, and just like he like the lists that he had and like the he did very much like Tim Geddes like that in review. And every time I was editing it, I was just like, bro, where are you pulling this out of? Like, you got this down, son.
Mhm.
So he does commit very
One
hard.
time
That's
I
what
was-
Laura was saying.
One time I was playing Fall Guys with him on stream, and he just goes out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey guys, you know what today is?" Like completely unprompted. He's like, "Do you guys know what today is?" And we're like, "What?" And he's like, "Today is the anniversary of Coldplay's first ever live performance."
Oh my god.
He'll do
Yeah,
that. He does that
Yep.
often.
He'll do that.
Hey,
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
Just for like video game anniversaries, like just any kind of anniversaries.
Mhm.
He just pull it
And
out
so-
of nowhere.
I was just like, "Why the fuck do you know that, dude? Like, why?"
He has to have some like special source, like some Twitter account or something. Like I
I
don't.
think he just has time hop.
I was about to say
Okay.
first time.
I haven't used time hop in years.
I think he's like,
Same.
I think it's like Adam Sandler from the movie Click, where he just has like a remote control. He just like pauses time, and he's like,
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
But like, how
Check
does
out.
he remember all of these things? Is what I want to know. His mind is like
Google
Hermione's.
calendar.
His is like. Oh, okay, fair. I was gonna say like Hermione's purse, but that's better.
he has a time
Sure.
tree. He has a time tree just for
Yeah,
himself.
yeah, exactly.
So
Mhm.
you guys clearly do like a bunch of stuff.
Stuff.
If somebody just has an idea, you guys just go with it essentially for a show.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
If we have an idea and we realize that someone's passionate about it and they at least hash out like when it's going to happen, which is something that Coldplay Replay I don't think actually happened except between just Josh and Brett in like DMs or something. Like I don't think they ever talked about it in the Discord channel, which is a little off. But usually we're as long as we hash out the bare minimum, then it happens. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
Has there been an idea that hasn't come to fruition?
Yet.
I mean probably, but because it hasn't come to fruition, I probably don't
You
remember what
forgot
it is.
Yeah.
Jordan,
Yeah.
Jordan and I are chaotic and have a couple of chaotic podcasts that we have to figure out how they're gonna work before we pitch them to the group.
Well, that's also a
Um,
different energy too, because you've known him for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And like we had dumb stuff we wanted to do before Waypoint was even a thing that just kind of fell to the wayside because we got busy. And now we're like, ooh, we do all sorts of random shit over there. Let's do it. But we want to go with not just, hey, Jordan and I want to be chaotic on a podcast. We want to have like a structure and like know kind of what we're doing. Even though that goes all out the window for us the minute we start recording. Okay.
Yeah.
Like last night I'm not allowed. I don't think I should be allowed to host anything for shared screens because I always get weird about it. The sign off for our podcast that went up this morning was really me just going, our shit's in the description. I don't fucking know. Like,
honestly, you're not giving yourself enough credit. The sign off apart, because I agree that was hilarious. But I think you are one of the more structured people when it comes to like managing a show of any sort than anyone else here. Like I know when I do a show, I usually don't even have notes, but I might have notes of like keywords, and that's it. So
I'm gonna be honest right now. I'm going in blank. I'm just trying to pick up what I hear, and I think that's more fun, honestly, because I know Alec. I've known Alec for like over a year. I've known Josh for like about a year, and everybody else is just like new experience, and I think this is fun for me.
100%.
Picking things up.
Absolutely.
I think different hosting is like fun.
It also depends on the product you're making. Like if it's like if you want it to be more structured and more like to the point and like actually like
if
express yourself about something, then yeah, it's better to be structured. But if it's just like this, like off the cuff, I think it works.
If it's like a review or whatever, like a news show or whatever, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with like single riders. I have a script for when I host just because I have all the history of the ride and like all my like sources that I have to cite. So like I need the script or else I get confused and like don't know where I am anymore. Where our podcast, I just come in and am an asshole.
Just go off.
My way.
Right there.
The 12 minutes in review or not in the 12 minutes IRL podcast that went places.
That I really hope we never have the same 4 people and only those 4 people on a podcast again because it went places.
Oh yeah.
Also, just to bring it back to single rider, sorry. I think that's a good example of a show that was just like I have this idea, and then pretty soon after, it was a thing, and it was because Laren was like, I want to do this Disney like amusement park ride show, basically. And if you express an idea, and even one person pops off in the chat, probably being made. Like, but I also would say that you asked the question earlier that like have any shows not happened? I feel like Brett has had a number of ideas that a lot of us usually just don't comment on or something along those lines. So then those shows probably don't get made. But to his credit, but to his credit, when he like you said, he commits to a bit, and the Coldplay replay was a big hit. So maybe we have more leeway with that now. Maybe it's like Brett, do your thing. You're great.
The other problem is we have the channel on Discord that's content ideas, and people will drop things in there at like 2 a.m. And because we all share like 5 brain cells collectively, we don't remember. If we don't have a meeting that day that you drop it, we will never talk about it again because we'll forget.
Good point.
And like we just are like, I don't know. Cool. Like
also 5 is generous. 5 brain cells.
Because how many members are part of Waypoint at this point? Like 8?
There's 9 of us.
9, and I've deemed Gino Viteri a honorary 10th member. Yeah.
And I think I don't remember if it was Chance or Alec deemed my cat the 11th member just because.
I like how Gino's before your cat.
Well, no, Gino and the cat still have to fight for the 10th spot.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, wait, who's been on more content? Who's been on more content?
The cat.
The cat, probably.
I mean, Gino's been on a solid amount, though. You bring up a good point.
Yeah, that's the thing with Coldplay replay, because usually when she's not being an asshole, she's like right here when I'm recording. But she's being a little bit of a dick today. So
we have to add a third challenger though, because we forgot about Chance's curtain. We forgot, or whatever that is. That is the shower curtain. Now you have to show it if you can. You have to show it if you can.
So my brother photoshopped a shower curtain when he was a senior in high school, and he gave it to me, and I put it in a box and forgot about it. Went and lived many years of life. My mom ditches this box at me and is like, take the shit. In the box was the Photoshop. Hold on.
It's gonna be worth it, I promise.
It is. It's so good.
Yes.
So there's a monkey.
There's
more
audio,
and it just gets better.
Is that Jim Goldblum?
Yes,
it is.
Oh, McKenna's gonna be so upset she's not here. Oh my fucking god!
With
I love it so much. I love it so much.
McKenna, I'm so sorry you had to go home this weekend. That is the best thing.
Thank you for obliging, Chance. I know that was a hard task.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a fun
Appreciate it.
thing. My brother really gets a dig out of it. I showed him a couple pieces of content where we like brought it up and he laughed hysterically.
One more.
Yep.
How it's sitting right now, though, is how it was the very first time Chance was ever on a
Yes.
Waypoint call.
Yeah, so just
And
that guy.
Austin and I were just staring at it, and finally Austin goes, "What is that?"
Help.
Well, I don't know if you guys know who McKenna, but she's like
Yeah, you're at it.
obsessed with Jeff Goldblum. So much so that for her birthday, we got her like Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum Funko Pop with like the shirt open. It was like,
Nice.
Nice.
Hell
And
yeah.
we also
Hell
got
yeah.
her a mermaid pillow, like the sequin pillows that you just like rub like that. And on
Right.
one side, it has Jeff Goldblum laying down.
Oh my
And
god.
on
Love it.
all
Love
the
it.
content that she's been on since she moved to her college dorm, the pillow's been in the frame.
Hell yeah.
Like you just need to like really
That's
look into
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. I love it.
So sucks to suck.
Sorry. Oh my god.
But
I just
it,
love this gorilla.
Yeah.
Just staring.
I think that was that made it better because it was like, oh, that's a gorilla, that's a monkey, and then the reveal.
Yeah.
that was the tip of the iceberg. And it was just,
Then you see this
so good.
handsome gentleman in a turtleneck and you
Were
if you
we?
gave me 1,000 guesses, I never would have said that.
I know
right?
exactly. Exactly. Were
Like-
we in a meeting when I brought
Yes.
this up, or was this?
Yes.
Dang,
It was
that's
a meeting.
man. I wish that was on content.
Yeah, for sure.
Dang it.
It was
I
the
couldn't
first
believe
meeting
that you
posted.
saw it. I thought you were talking about the like poster I had behind me or like something on my shelf.
Like they
like-
have like, what's the picture of that gorilla? And you're like, oh, over there. It's just like on the opposite end.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I
you
don't
mean
want to
over
scare
here?
you, but there's a gorilla behind you. Like, you should run.
Oh god.
Oh shit.
Lord. Our
Oh
background's
man.
hanging out with us.
Everything is just really this what a year it's been, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been a year. I feel
Also,
like
it's almost November, and it's like, I'm sorry, what?
No,
like,
Right? Yeah.
it's almost been
No.
2 years since like the pandemic started. And like it's crazy to think that because of what happened in March, we are where we are today. Like
Yeah.
you guys
Absolutely.
Shared Screens
Mhm.
has had, I would say, a pretty successful run so far and will continue to into the future. Isn't that kind of weird? Like to think it was just like one day we were all living our lives and then shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but on the
it's-
like more positive side, like I was thinking about this before I jumped on the call. It's just you kind of have
The
to
good
take the positive out of the negative, right? And so like the pandemic all forced us inside, right? But then it also
Help us
like
to-
really made us talk to each other more on Twitter.
Mhm.
I personally had been a part of groups with my friends like IRL, never worked out because they didn't have the same passion that I did, and finding like Waypoint and like getting added to their team, I felt like that was something that I looked for. But like we're spread across, the United States, and Josh is in Canada, and then you guys even more so.
Yeah.
And just like I feel like we're kind of in that same category of content creators that really found each other because of the pandemic, and just
Exactly.
trying to find like positivities out of like being stuck inside for 2 years.
yeah, without the pandemic, we shared screens, or at least I would not have pitched my idea for Waypoint to these people. Like
Mhm.
these strangers at the time, it wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have happened. So yeah, there is definitely a beacon of light that came out of that. Even though it's a terrible thing that happened. Like I'm not
Yeah.
taking that away from any of it. But if it
Right.
didn't happen, I don't think shared screens would exist.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's-
Like, no, go ahead.
I mean, I always feel bad saying it, but like, yeah, if the pandemic hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been able to move to California because it was only I worked in a grocery store when the pandemic started, and it was only because we got safety raises, which was basically the owner of the store I worked at being like, "Here's some extra money since you're risking your life every day to make sure people can buy
Rightfully
food."
so.
And yeah, so and it was
Good.
amazing that he did it. Like it was a small business, and like
Good
I
business practices.
yeah, like it was great that he did it, and it literally like that raise is the only reason I saved up enough to move here and like not be miserable in New York anymore. I hate the cold. I can't do it. I needed to leave.
Well, along with that, I kind of wanted to bring up the like we've all been making content for a while. Alec especially. So like you streamed before Waypoint.
Yep.
The topic of mental health of creating content is a really tough one as well. don't you think? Like it's just like it's an important one that people need to come to terms with. But sometimes people just don't know. Like I say people. I'm like sometimes. I mean, I include myself a lot in this too. They just don't know when to stop. And you guys just keep going. You guys just keep making stuff. I'm impressed, genuinely, with the stuff you guys put out.
I personally really appreciate that. Just for the record, Alec, I'll let you take it. But
thank you.
but thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
But like
that was. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask, like, how do you guys keep going? You know, as like, how does it?
The big reason is there's 9 of us, so it's like not everybody has to be on every single piece of content.
Yeah.
Like we learned that last year around like December, January, when a couple of us were kind of feeling the burnout because I think Chris or I had to be on every episode to record. But now that we have Jordan being able to help out with recording, and now, like last night, all our people that could record were busy, so they actually recorded on Zoom. And I mean, we put out that episode out today of the Midnight Mass spoiler cast, and it turned out great. So it's just the fact that there's so many of us that we don't have to have people be on every single piece of content. And if people need to step back and take a break, they can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like prime example, I've had to step back a little bit this week. It's just been kind of hectic, and Alec, being the other editor, has like totally helped me out and like taken on what I would have been doing without like even a blink of an eye. And it's very nice, but it's also like a give and take situation where we know what the other people are sacrificing to take care of those kind of like to step in anyway. And so it's always reciprocated, I feel like.
And I think
just real quick,
Sorry.
we brought up the number of 9 people. That's only part of it. The other part of it is that the people that are there, they understand. They get it.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, we usually don't use like we're not usually straightforward. Like, hey, I'm burnt out. You can just usually kind of tell if someone's not feeling it, and you're like, yeah, just sit this one out. Like it's fine. We have 9 people, like we said, but I think it's more of the way we approach when someone does that, and it's just like, yeah, we are extremely accepting. Like honestly, if we have to postpone an episode because someone's not feeling it, we would much rather do that than force on to anyone, because someone's passionate about something, they really want to be on it, right? And that makes sense. But if they're not feeling it that day, maybe we push it a day or two, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Which
worth
we
it.
have done that in the past quite a few times, actually.
Yeah. I also think part of it is we're really upfront with each other. Like I think 3 of us are in school right now. Me, Josh, and Jordan.
Yeah.
And we all kind of like any project we have outside of Waypoint that we have to do, whether it's school or work or Austin writing reviews for the different places he writes reviews for, we try to be really, really upfront with, hey, this week is going to be like, I can't do anything because I have finals or like anything like that. Like,
oh, hey, Gino.
hey,
He said he was gonna do it. He said,
Crazy.
Wow. The collaboration of the century, dude. Incredible. Hey, you guys want to play Fortnite right now?
Hit me up. What are you doing later tonight? I'm down.
What are you doing later at night?
Yeah.
I'm hanging out at this wedding that I'm at right now.
Hey, Gino,
Hold
Gino, you want to talk about burnout really quickly? You want to talk about like your how you deal with burnout?
Like burnout, like the Criterion game or something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I feel like they should bring it back,
I hate this.
Is that what you're talking about?
Gino, you're one of my favorite people. I love this so much
You guys
right
are all
now.
my favorite people. That's why I'm here right now. That's why I left this beautiful wedding. You guys want to see it? Can I turn my camera? Gage, or do you mind if I turn on my camera? Is that gonna mess up all your stuff, dude?
No,
Nah,
you're
you
all
don't
good,
care.
buddy.
Let me do it.
Go for it. Just go for it. Just go
All
for
right,
it.
look at this, dude. Look at this. Wait, hold on.
Are you at a wedding?
Discord does not have access to your camera. Hold on, I have to enable it in my privacy settings.
This is the best point in the conversation this could have happened.
Oh yeah, very serious shit. Like we're goofing around before this, and then we get like serious. Like here's the real.
Yeah,
deal.
you had every
Here's the
opportunity
You
to
guys
pop
hear
in
me?
before now.
All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Look at how beautiful this is, dude. Look where I'm like.
God.
Hold on, wait. Look. Look, wait. Oh, wait, wait. Let me say. Look, this is a barn right here. Look, it's like a very nice, beauty barn. You know.
That is nice.
You're
And you
so
got,
handsome.
Very nice.
Like, look at that.
Yeah,
Look at the sunset, dude.
It's my
at this
dream.
guy.
It's so
Isn't that
beautiful.
beautiful?
Chance,
Yeah,
right?
so
I was
you.
like,
Amazing.
Dream wedding
look at how
location.
beautiful this is. Look at how beautiful Gino is. Look at
Right?
the
No,
bow
I'm
tie,
not-
look at the
I'm a handsome
hair.
boy.
Oh my god,
I look like one of the waiters, right? You know
you look
But
like
anyway.
James Bond, the next James Bond. Did you bring a
Gage.
sword to this wedding?
No, I didn't bring a sword. I wasn't allowed.
Oh, dude, missed
Wasn't allowed.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Can,
All
Gage,
right,
can we call this episode?
You guys have fun.
Wait, okay.
Okay.
Bye, Gino.
Bye, Gino.
Bye,
Good to
Gino.
see
Bye,
you.
Gino.
Bye, Gino.
Gage, can we
Wow.
call this episode "Out of Our League" Waypoint featuring Gino Viteri?
Shared screens?
Oh, 100%.
You mean shared screens? You mean
Oh, shared
call it-
screens, shared
It'll
screens.
be shared screens across
Okay.
Simply Sassy, the Gino Viteri cut.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
I love it. That's why Gage is here.
I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget that. That's not
No,
gonna be
yeah,
the
for
title,
sure.
but
Yeah.
I'll need a
Speaking-
reminder.
Yeah, I was just saying. Speaking of names real quick. Bo, he
Oh.
will
Oh
like
my
if we have
God.
an idea and we're in a meeting, he'll just like kind of sit back
Who?
and like 5-10 minutes.
Oh,
Bo, brother Grimbo.
Oh, Bo. Oh yeah.
He will like it'll be talking about the idea for a bit, and then maybe about 5 to 10 minutes later, he'll just spurt out a name, and we're all just like,
Yep.
yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
I've-
He is our name.
I've made the
guy.
joke
thought you said-
before where Bo could just pop in for like, I don't know, 8 seconds every single meeting and just give us a name and then pop out or like smoke a cigar or something, and it would feel right. Like it would just be like, yep, it's worth it.
He's the names guy.
With his little martini.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so
Yeah.
classy.
Literally, the first time I ever spoke to Bo, I was like, "Are you drinking a martini?" He was like, "Yeah." Like, what the fuck is?
Rest my case.
I'm not judging. I swear. I just never seen.
Because
Like,
we had this on like a Friday night or Saturday night, so we're like, oh, have some drinks.
I think my favorite part about that is that he turned it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just flipped the
That's very
script.
personal.
They're like, "Are you drinking a martini?" It's like, "Yeah." Why do you?
Why are
It's
you
just
it
like,
was just like I don't know. I bartended for so long, and this is gonna sound weird, but young people never really order martinis. It's very much a like 90-year-old man is like, "Hey, and this is how you make it specifically like this." And
I think
this
it's the
amount of
fact that
whatever."
he's got
Confirmed.
an old soul. That's why he knows names so well.
Hey, that checks out. Confirmed though. Liaren called Bo 90 years old. You heard it here first. You
I'm
heard it
not
here.
calling him 90 years old. I'm just not.
I
used
think
to
he just
young
did.
people
I think
being
he just
I
did.
like
He's
Jim.
not here. He can
We
talk
have
shit.
the evidence. You can't fight it.
He's not here. You can talk shit.
Bo, it's very weird, but like Bowen and Bo is one of the few people that I'm like, I don't want to talk shit about Bo. I love Bo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll talk about shit about Jordan all day, every day. But like,
You want to talk about what you were saying about Spider-Man before we started recording?
oh my god, I'm dreading it. I'm truly dreading Spider-Man No Way Home. Just because Jordan needs Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to not be in it, and like, I don't particularly care either way, but I don't think they're in it, and I don't want to phrase it like that.
You want
I
to
don't know
humble
how
him?
else- Yeah, I was gonna say I like to crush his dreams, but I don't mean it like that. Yeah,
Bring him down a few pegs. You want to just like drop his ego a little bit?
it's my job, and we do it to each
My
other. We bring
job.
each other down a few pegs. Like it's our job with each other. Because if we didn't, Jordan would be dead by now. Like one of us would not be alive anymore. But yeah, and he needs them to be in it. And any leak that comes out anywhere on Reddit, random Russian Twitter accounts, he's like, "This is real. This is confirmation that they're in it." And I'm like, it's not though. And he at one point just was like, "I'm gonna buy a clown nose and a clown wig around Halloween, and when the movie comes out, if they're not in it, I will wear the clown wig and the clown nose in the theater."
So-
Again, nobody told him to do this. He just decided he was going to.
So
He has yelled at me. Oh, go ahead.
I like that right now. He's having his Charlie Day moment where he's got like the whiteboard and he's just going on. They're in it. They're in the fucking movie. But if they're not in it, he's gonna have his Joker moment.
Yeah,
Essentially.
literally. If Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are not in this movie, it is Jordan's Joker origin story.
Mhm.
Like, I joke all the time that like I'm gonna burn down Marvel if they do something stupid or like go after Kevin Feige. This has been the one thing that Jordan's like, if they don't do it, it's stupid, it's bad writing, they have to do it. And if he's right, because Jordan just is very rarely right about things.
My God.
When it comes to like guessing, he's just not good at guessing what's going to happen in something.
I mean, look at his fantasy critic league.
I know.
I'm
Poor
right
guy.
there with him.
His fantasy critic league got really fucked up,
He
but
has like 1 point.
yeah, and like with,
I'm not that bad.
he's struggling. Nothing has worked for him. And like he's just not the kind of person where when we're watching movies or watching trailers, he's trying to figure out what's going to happen in them. So like him being so passionate about this is like getting Jordan to say whether or not he likes a movie is the most difficult thing on the planet because he can't commit to it. On different podcasts we had to rank the MCU movies, and he like agonized over it and kept putting it off and kept saying, no, let's do it next week, let's do it next week, let's do it next week, because he couldn't make just choices. So like if this movie doesn't have Toby and Andrew in it, I feel like he's going to be crushed. It's going to be Star Wars Rise of Skywalker all over again. It's going to be long term.
Is he the type of guy that when he watches a movie and he asks him what he thinks, he's like, it's all right.
It's good. Yeah. He's always just like, it's good. Like we went and saw the first Aquaman, which I did not like. I did not enjoy that movie. Jordan, we walked out and I was like, that movie was fucking terrible. And he was like, I don't think it was that bad. I was like, yeah, but do you not think it was that bad just because Jason Momoa was in it? And he was like, yeah. Probably. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like there it is. Like he always, it's, well, why do you like it? I don't know. I do. Like, I don't know. It's my favorite thing.
So Alex sent me sent us the scores of the Critic League. Alex in the a resounding lead of projected points of 143. Well, no, it's not do projected. Let's do actual points. Actual points 135. Wade 111. Josh 86. Chris Rumblepack 77. And Jordan at a close 5th place of 16 points.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Truly.
I think he just got that from Riders Republic too. So like, yeah, he's single digit for a long time.
He's down bad in this league and down bad on Twitter. Just
yes.
I was convinced that he didn't understand the rules at the beginning of the game.
It really looks like it.
He picked Destruction All Stars, and I was like, okay, like that's a gamble, my guy.
He was so excited. I was on the phone with him when he was setting up his league, and he was so excited. It was like these games. It's the same thing with Skatebird. He's been so excited for Skatebird, and then nobody talked about it. And he was like, okay. Like,
no, fuck everybody. I'm with Jordan on that one. I wish it was good. I haven't played it, but like I've heard the reviews are not
Here's
great.
the thing.
It was crushed.
If I've learned anything, it's that Jordan needs the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
Jordan needs a win.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. It's like I'm very concerned for him, because I'm very much a person where I'm like, keep your expectations low, because then you can only be like, when I saw 2016 Suicide Squad, I didn't hate it because I expected it to be dog shit, and it was like a little better than I expected it to be, and so I had a good time. Yeah, and like the soundtrack was fun, so I'm like, I'm vibing here, and I'm like,
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm like, just keep your expectations low.
But then we learned that from the state of play this past week. Keeping low expectations still does not help sometimes.
Yeah.
Was he too stoked for that? I didn't see our reactions.
No, we were all kind of going even keel, like to low expectations, but it still was just like.
Did he just come out devastated?
It was still underwhelming.
No,
we were all just it was still underwhelming. Like
yeah.
we went in with low expectations and we still were underwhelmed. Like
What was
just happened? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, have your expectations on the floor, and then everything's great. It's like
that's how I live life.
I don't know how to do that. Like I can't put it so far down. It's like, okay, I'm not showing up to the thing then, because clearly I don't care.
You deny everything. That's how I do it. I deny the idea of the N64 coming to Switch Online forever. If anybody asks me, I'm like, it's never gonna happen. Just because I wanted it to happen so much.
Right.
So that when it did happen, I was very pleasantly surprised.
I
So you just live in denial.
The one exception for that is
Sword and Smash 100% same thing.
Fallout 3 remastered, because I'm like, yeah, it'll never happen. And then you saw my dream just get ripped apart. And so maybe there we are.
Yeah, like it's why I hated Wonder Woman 1984 is because I loved the first movie. It was great. I was like, the second one's gonna be fucking phenomenal, and I still liked
weird.
it, but like
It was
not the
weird,
way I
right?
did. Like, yeah, it was very strange. They were going for something, and they just didn't quite make it.
Were they
was weird.
going for something?
They were trying to be the 1980s Wonder Woman comics that are very colorful and very weird and like all about like the idea of
84.
excess. Yeah, it's also she has a comic run that's all about the idea of excess that was in the 80s, that everything had to be bigger and bigger and bigger and everybody was on cocaine and it was big money on Wall Street and like all that kind of stuff. And it just like it didn't work because there's a lot of politics that go into that. And like there's the scene in England where the woman's yelling at the Irish guy because it was the height of the troubles in Ireland, and she goes, "Go back to your island." And like that's such a weird throwaway line because you didn't establish what the politics of Ireland and England was at that time and like what the politics of America was in 19. So it just like they didn't do enough with what they wanted to do, and they were just like,
But
"Colors."
we got that scene where she straight up murders a guy.
Yeah.
Out the like she blows up the wall with her gauntlets or whatever. I don't remember exactly what happens, but they're like shooting. There's like kids behind her. Unless this isn't the
Wonder
first one.
Woman-
Different movie.
Wasn't that
different
Justice League?
Movie.
Wasn't
This
that
is the
Justice
Snyder
League?
cut.
Is that Justice
This
League?
is literally
That
the
was
Snyder
Snyder
cut.
cut, yeah.
No, I
Justice
think
League.
it
Oh my
happens in
God.
Wonder Woman.
Gage, it looks like you're holding
1984
something back.
No, I'm just
Gage, it looks like
enthralled
you're
in this
holding something.
conversation.
It's all a blur, clearly.
Goes
No.
places.
Wait, you said that Wonder Woman had politics in the movie, and I just love the idea of somebody in the theater being like, "Wow, she's talking a lot about Israel, huh?" It's just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Oh, so true.
Which is just also where the movie struggled because of the time it released and like other things that were
Yeah.
happening,
It
and
was
it's like
so bad in
well,
that regard. So tone deaf.
yeah, and like
Mhm.
that's just a complicated thing. On Wonder Woman murking
There
a guy.
were-
Let her murk a guy. It's what she does. She takes care of her villains.
Yeah,
Like
there's smarter people than us to have that conversation, but yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. I saw those memes on Twitter and I'm like, I'm just not gonna interact with this at all because I don't fully understand what's happening here.
That's the other thing too. With like, obviously things happen in the world, right?
Mhm.
We all love video games, and then something comes out like with certain studios. Do you guys feel like there's an obligation to speak up about certain things, like in our space, like against, like Activision Blizzard, for example?
I don't
like-
know if obligation is the right word, and that's just me speaking personally.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little twisted on that for me personally, where it's like I feel like if we're going to discuss anything in this space, it has to be said at the top of the show or something. Something needs to be said. We don't have to
Mhm.
necessarily go in depth about said topic,
Yeah.
but we do have to
Yeah.
preface our stance. So
Because,
maybe obligation is the right word, but I don't know. That feels a little off to me.
Because like we're not. I'll be honest, we're not like the biggest influencers in the world that are going to change the fucking scape of like politics or anything. But it's still like something sometimes should be brought up. I don't know.
As specifically with Activision Blizzard, as a woman, I felt the need. I went on a rant on Twitter because like
Yeah.
I feel the need to do that because like
Right.
it's so exhausting having to like explain to a certain type of guy that like women have a place in pop nerd geek culture,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. And when people are actually being hurt in such a casual way that everybody's like, no, it's fine. Like, but it's also frustrating because like with Ubisoft, also a ton of sexual harassment, but not all of their developers are a part of it. Not every office, like Ubisoft Quebec, I think is the one that gets the
Yeah.
most heat.
Yeah.
And like, so then you feel weird because you're like, well, there are people working on these that aren't part of this, and now they're suffering because they're gay. Like the same thing with that Harry Potter game that's coming out.
Mhm.
That first J.K. Rowling had to be a fucking asshole and reveal that she's a TERF,
She
and
ruined the whole development.
Yeah.
just
All the developers on the game's
Mhm.
life.
yeah, and that's not their fault. They don't necessarily share that opinion.
Yeah.
But people aren't going to want to buy the game because they're not going to want to give money to her. And then what was it? 6 months ago, it came out that the head of that development team is an asshole,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
it just got shit on even more. And like,
Mhm.
it's just
Because
it's a weird
because
thing
like
too.
because there's things that we obviously know a lot about, such as, for example, the space, and then there's other things in the world that we don't
Yeah.
know about. And then like, do we talk about the stuff we don't know about and kind of look stupid? And
Yeah.
but like, it's important.
There is a
I don't know.
reference there for
I
sure.
think-
Go ahead, Josh.
I think it's important to mention for sure. Like we were talking about our anticipated games one time, and I was like, "Well, I really like Battlefield and what they're doing, and that's the one I'm gonna have to buy this year because I'm not buying Call of Duty." And like we got into it, and
Mhm.
so like we still mention it, but I don't think like, and especially back at the time, I don't think like a bunch of white dudes were capable of having that conversation about Activision. Like, yeah, we can talk about it, but like we're not the right guys.
What do you know?
And-
Yeah, like
Yeah, what do we
to-
know?
Totally.
Just to
Exactly.
piggyback off that too, is like we kind of decided from the jump that we weren't going to be covering like the major news. Like that's not something that
Yeah.
there's there's plenty of other gaming channels that you can get the news from.
Mhm.
So
Passion.
But
it's
like
Passion Nuts.
eventually because it is part of culture and life,
Mhm.
that conversation can come up. And so I don't
Exactly.
know. I don't know. So it's
if
just
it
like,
gets big enough, we will.
I have one more thing to add to that. I think, like we said, I personally want to preface it at the top of the show or something along those lines. And I think part of that too goes to like if someone in the audience or one of those people who viewed it is like, no, I don't like the stance that we're like we think we're justified. We have the
Mhm.
right stance. But if they don't agree with
Mhm.
that, I personally feel like
Yeah.
then don't watch your shit. Like I don't
Yeah.
want you here, and that's harsh.
Mhm.
But like if you think that there's nothing wrong over there, that's what's happening at Activision Blizzard, then sorry, then go. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just me personally, but yeah.
No,
No,
I
I
think
see.
that we'd very much
Wait.
take a stance like when it's important. It's about being good to other people. Sorry, did I cut somebody off?
no,
You're good.
Learen has something she really wants to say.
Okay, go ahead.
This is where I get into trouble, though, is because I can't help myself with not fighting with those people.
Oh
And,
no, like that's
I
fine.
can't help myself. I got into so many fights with people I didn't know because of
Yeah.
something Colin Moriarty, who I didn't even watch Kind of Funny when he was on it, but he said something, somebody responded to him, and I got in a huge fight with this person on Twitter about it just because I get so
was it soup
heated.
communion?
No.
Yes.
No.
It was just like some dude, and like I was like,
Stew?
because he said something about like if women don't like it, they shouldn't work there, and I like lost my shit about it. Was like, come on, like
I did.
come on, dude, really?
I would call the story, but that's for a different episode.
God, I get really heated. Like I was doing it when Kind of Funny made their video about Biden and voting for Biden. I got in fight with
Mhm.
people in their comments because I can't help myself for some reason. I just like I need to yell. I don't go on Facebook for this reason.
Yeah.
Because like
But-
I can't stop. Jordan has family that like disagrees with his views. I will get in fights with his extended family on Facebook because I don't agree with what they're saying and I just can't go on there anymore.
Literally at a meeting, she listed 8 different topics she fights with her mom on.
Oh yeah,
Like-
my mom and I have a
like, she
couple of
will
topics that
fight
we just
anyone.
can't talk about.
Exactly.
We just
So
we will
Leanne's our
never.
fighter now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So if we do go forward, or like maybe we should make an entire episode revolving around this instead of just like listing
I
it,
just like the
like
idea of
talking about it 20 minutes in. We're gonna set Leanne off to fight her.
I just like the idea of at the start of the show, Austin's like, "Hey, so we're gonna talk about this very serious issue," and in the background, Learen's like, "Yeah."
I get really heated about it. It's bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's wild. I like. And
That's
it's
exactly
so
how it would go.
stereotypical.
That is.
Literally, it has never been posted, but Jordan and I had an idea for a podcast a long time ago called Don't Get Me Started, where he would just say specific words that he knew I have like very strong feelings about. And the problem is I have really strong feelings about everything. Like, so there's really nothing where I'm just like,
What?
oh, like it's fine. Like there's
don't
not.
care.
Yeah, there's not.
Mhm.
That's why I hated What If so much, is because I just didn't have anything to say about it. I was just like, yeah, it's there. Like, I don't know.
What
Yeah.
if?
That's like
I hate that
we
show.
actually clipped it out for our Ted Lasso season 2 spoiler cast, but Learen can go on some pretty good rants. So
I was
Yeah.
screaming at Chris.
Yeah.
I was screaming at
Nate.
Chris
Poor
about
Nate.
Nate from
He
Ted
deserved it,
Lasso.
but poor Nate.
And Chris is going, I agree with you. And I'm just screaming. Like,
No, but you don't get it.
I know, but like, I'm mad. There's a. Oh, sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, on one end of the spectrum, we have Brett, who is very like wholesomely passionate
quiet,
about
yeah.
stuff. Like his Nintendo reaction during E3 is very wholesome, and it's pure serotonin. I'm like, I wish I felt that way about a video game company. Like, I wish I was that passionate. So that's very wholesome. And then on the other end of the spectrum, Halo as well. Other end of the spectrum, Leanne, and she's so passionate she'll fight anyone. So it's a good blend.
We have it all covered.
I was saying, I thought you were passionate about Halo, but you're not. It's because I think Chris is so passionate about Halo, he gets other people excited for it.
Some of his passion just rubs off on us a little bit. So it's like we'll have a dream about Halo, and we're like, what the fuck?
I was just thinking about that.
My favorite description that I've ever been given was my parents and I saw Silver Linings Playbook together. If you guys have seen the movie, there is a scene where Bradley Cooper comes into his parents' room because he just finished reading, I think, Ethan Frome, but I could be wrong. And he's really mad about how it ends. And he's just screaming at his parents, who have not read this book, about why it's stupid that the author ended it that way. And my dad in the theater turned to me and went, "This is what it's like living with you." He was like, "We come into our room at 9:30 at night, mad about something we know nothing about, and just yell. And then when you're done, you leave. And like, it's over. And like, that's just the conversation." Like, yeah. I don't know. It's like I went to school for theater, and we were never allowed to just say, "Oh, I like it," just because I do. Like, we had to have reasons, and that turned me into like a monster.
A monster.
Like,
I have a friend who sometimes will just be like sitting in moments of silence, and she'll just be like, "Nancy Pelosi." It's just like, I don't know.
It's like random things that I'll just like get mad at, and I just yell, and I'm like, "What am I? I don't even like yelling." And I'm like, "What am I doing?"
I don't believe
why
that.
Am I like this?
I don't believe that statement. I don't believe that for a second.
When I'm fighting with actual people, like when I fight with like the rare time Short and I get in fights, or when I fight with like significant others, I don't like to yell. I don't think it fixes anything. But like books, movies, television shows, anything, I just will scream about.
If it's on
Ronda
his
Rousey's career,
Just
Ronda Rousey's entire career, like I'll just scream about all of it. It's just like, I don't know.
I forgot about that conversation.
That's what one of the episodes was about. Is an hour of me yelling about it.
Yeah.
Coach, I can't. I can't. Like, I just can't help myself.
Oh my god.
We're pretty much on the same page as far as that goes. There's it's kind of, everybody keeps telling me we need to start a show called Gauge Rage, because everybody knows what triggers me. And we'll just be
Gage.
We'll be
Gage.
Fucking do it, Caesar. Fucking do it. Come on.
You want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Dude. Look, okay, I haven't finished Intergrade yet, because every time I go back to it, I'm reminded of how fucking irritated I was when that game launched. Yeah, everybody knows how to set me off with stuff like that, or like the Grand Theft Auto trilogy trailer and stuff. There was just like, we're in party chat, I don't know, playing Red Dead or something, and you know, Caesar or Ben, we've already had this conversation multiple times. They're just like, so how you liking that Grand Theft Auto trilogy trailer? And then it just devolves into me just yelling all of my frustrations about the world.
Why did they make it look like that?
Dude, look at the original concept. Look at the original art. Okay, if you open up the texture files of any of the characters, and then you compare it to the remaster characters look like Play-Doh compared to the originals. Like, it's not like, oh, they're preserving the art style. No, they're literally changing the art style for whatever reason. It's like, what if we make 3 super cartoony, and then Vice City less cartoony? But you know what? We're gonna leave San Andreas with like a slightly photorealistic art style. That sounds great. Oh, nice volumetric clouds in San Andreas. We're not gonna do that for GTA 5 though. We're gonna use the same visuals from the freaking PC version.
I like it.
Every group has their one. Every group has their one.
It's
so
truly.
What I'm hearing,
and I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still gonna buy it. I'm gonna moan about it constantly, but I'm gonna spend all the money on those games.
So what I'm hearing is we need to have a show where Leanne and Gage just rant.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Just like
We
have
just
them
throw
both sit
topics.
down
We
with
just
each
throw
other.
topics down. We just like write down a bunch of topics
Yeah.
to them.
I just like 2 words. That's
Yep.
all I need. It's like
Yeah,
Final Fantasy,
truly.
Grand Theft Auto, and that's it. And I'll just go.
Shrek, you know,
And-
Marvel's
it's like
Avengers.
A whole rant of,
Oh my
exactly.
I'm a
God.
sociopath about it. This is from
Bad.
WandaVision, my notes, and I was mad about something.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was
look like a
weird.
sociopath. And like I was drawing out the fucking runes on the walls, trying to figure out what the fuck they were to prove my point. And like I get really heated about it.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
You only look like a sociopath. Correct.
You only look.
I look crazy. Like it's bad.
I'm glad all my notes
don't
and everything
know,
are
it's
just on
like-
my phone. That way, like
Right.
if somebody opens it up, it's just words. But if they
Mhm.
open up my notebook, they'd be like, "This dude's a serial killer. Like,
What
what the
is
hell's
this?"
going on here?"
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
Man,
I don't know, and I guess it's just, like I'm in school for writing, and like that's what I want to do. And so when I think things are dumb in pop culture, I get mad about the way I would do it, and like why are these people so stupid, and go off about it. Like
well,
I rewrote an entire sequence of The Last of Us Part 2 because I felt like it totally destroyed the believability of the game.
you want
So
to talk about the fucking
I straight up
sequence?
rewrote so many of those scenes. It's like, here's how they could portray this scene to actually make me believe it. Like I'm
There-
some.
Want to talk
actual
about your
writer
favorite
or
part of
something.
Last of Us Part 2, Gage? You want to talk about your favorite part of Last of Us Part 2?
I'm gonna. we don't need to go down that rabbit hole right now, or else we're gonna be here forever.
Right.
there is a
I personally like the
podcast
bridge.
of me screaming about the politics in the Captain America trilogy and why they are terrible and paint a false image of America, and why I don't like the character and he's not as profound as everyone thinks he is. And I just go and like I have a whole argument somewhere in my Google Docs about like their reference to Operation Paperclip and Nick Fury's little story about it, and like all this little stuff on why they're just like making shit up and pretending that America isn't a mess. And like it gets me really heated. Like I just there's so much that like I'm like why would you do it like that? Why would you make this choice? Like,
I won't let you talk about America's ass like that. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't let you do it.
I also like just suck because I didn't really find Chris Evans that attractive until Knives Out and him in that sweater and his fitted trousers, and I was like, here it is. This is what I get it now.
I get it now. Yeah.
It took until then.
Knives Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
To be
Before
fair,
that-
no. What the original Captain America suits did not do him any favors. It was like the blue,
100%.
like closed ear
Sure.
shit. Yeah.
That's a good point.
It just like didn't do anything for me, and like he's just very clean cut, which isn't really like the thing I'm into. And then in Knives Out, he looks
so
very dilfy and is
did you like
nice
Nomad?
sweaters.
Did you like when he was the Nomad in Infinity War?
That's when it started doing something
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
That weird. I
Like
was-
it's like
oh my
that
God.
stuff,
Ew.
and like if he didn't have the stupid little soul patch in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, he'd be hot. Like it's just
Yeah.
Captain America is just such a clean cut look that I'm like not really into. And then Knives Out, he's got like the nice trench coat, the nice wool brown trench coat, and the white fisherman sweater, and like these fitted trousers. I'm like, you look great. You look like a frat boy, and I don't like that this is how I like you, but you look great. And in defending Jacob, him in all of his nice little suits that are all fitted and like filthy. I like when Chris Evans looks filthy.
Well, he looks great as Lightyear. He looks great as Buzz Lightyear as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I didn't know he had hair. What?
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
Why is that the thing that's messing everybody up? Like, why is that?
He always has a purple cap. Come on.
There's so much. When they announced that at Investors Day last year, I was like, this is just gonna. I get that you want to get Tim Allen out of here because Tim Allen is a problem, but
Yeah.
this is gonna confuse so many people.
Mhm.
Because I grew up with Buzz Lightyear Star Command and like him
Yes.
with a bunch of aliens and what they did. And you're now telling me that that's based
It's
on a
not
real
canon.
human being who actually did that? Yeah. Like, it's just wild. You're telling me that Buzz Lightyear was a human and like he flew around the sun?
He's from Earth. Yeah.
I, for
Like,
one,
yeah.
I love how
Crazy.
bonkers it is. Like I love like just the pitch. It's like, excuse me. Okay, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
You want what?
Like, what are we doing here? Like, what do you mean? And there are scenes that look like it's an animated Star Wars show. I'm like,
There are
does
scenes that
Toy
look
Story
real.
not think, like,
there are scenes that sure
Yeah.
like look like it's real life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
100%.
looks incredible. Like visually
Yeah.
incredible.
That's one of my favorite things is comparing the animation in the first Toy Story movie to the animation in Toy Story 4 and
Don't look,
Lightyear.
don't look too closely at the dog. Don't look too closely at the
I
dog.
know, it's so bad.
What's it called? Scud? Is that the name of the dog?
Scud,
It's like
something like
Spike.
that.
Yes.
Like
That, yeah.
the legs just
Yeah.
moving like that. They're flapping.
So when they got released on 4K, I bought
Mhm.
bought all 3 of them. That eventually bought 4 when it came out. And the only one I've watched since buying those was the first one, and it was so bad that I didn't want to finish it. Like to the point where you can see all the animation flaws. Where if a character's standing still, you can see their feet moving on the ground because they're using like FK rigs. So any motion on the upper torso is going to move their whole bodies, and it's so. Oh, it broke my heart watching that. I was like, oh my god, this looks so bad now.
Well, that's the
Still a
thing.
great
It's
movie,
like
but-
movies that are made of like old technology are not going to look good
No.
Yeah.
by today's standards. Especially
It's
if
like
you
wild
try to
If
upgrade
it's
them.
computerized, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of like older
Yeah.
stuff that's still looks great because it's all practical and stuff like that. But
Yeah. It's the same thing with me. I suck at video games, so the only games I really play are on my GameCube that I've had since 2002 or whatever.
Oh,
and
you
like
really digging Metroid?
Yeah, no. And I'm not good at video games. I can't play video games unless it's with a GameCube controller because I have to look at the buttons. The GameCube controller is the only one I can do without looking. I'm very excited that they're making Super Monkey Ball for the Switch because it's one of my favorite games, but the animation is crazy to look at.
Oh my God.
And like the Hobbit
yeah.
game, I'm trying to play through the GameCube Hobbit game, and the animation is painful to look at. And I never used to be that kind of person, but I'm like, oh no, why do you look like that? And like he'll fall through scenery and all that shit.
Nothing is going to be better than PlayStation 1 Hagrid.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
The old-
forgot about that game.
that was rough.
That was so good.
The old Harry Potter
that's like-
tie-in games. That's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was
Yeah.
like they were so bad, but I loved them so much. Played them so much.
Oh yeah.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for GameCube is one of the best games ever made. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Granted, I have not played a modern video game since Jordan and I played not The Last of Us, Beyond Two Souls. But
I didn't even have anything in my mouth and I choked. Like you said that.
Just on the opinion.
Yeah.
I want to be good at games. I want to be able to play things like The Last of Us. I can't. So I watch other people that are good at it and get excited.
Mhm.
Like I can't. The PlayStation just really fucks me up. So,
Doesn't Last of Us Part 2 have like a baby mode? Doesn't it?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
there's
the
thought
only
it did.
reason
a lot of accessibility features and stuff that help you with like
Yeah.
auto aim and all this other crazy stuff. That I wish
this
more
is what I
games-
loved. This is what I loved about Immortal Phoenix Rising too, because they had a story mode and basically was like, if you're not good, it literally is like, if you're not good at video games and you just want to play the story and the villains will be like weak and like you're fine, play it on this level. And I was like, yup, that's what I'm looking for. I just want to, save some Greek gods. I'm not looking to throw a controller across the room.
And if that worked for you, I do think you could play Last of Us
Yeah.
Part 2 because like I do think there are tons of options to help you out like that.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
it's rough.
And it's worth playing,
Yeah.
regardless of what Gage says.
Yeah.
Oh no,
That's-
I've watched playthroughs of it of both the first one and the second one because I do really like the story and I'm excited for the HBO show. Because I think it's a good. There are some scenes I'm like, but I think it's a good.
Later. Oh, no, she's back. You froze for a second. Sorry.
Of course I did. We've been recording for an hour. I have to glitch at some point. It can't be smooth. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just suck. Like if you go back and watch some of the VOD for us playing Beyond Two Souls, it's literally me screaming at Jordan because I don't know what I'm doing. Playing fucking Life is Strange 1, the final level that's that maze, and you have to like not get caught by the creepy teacher, but there are actually 4 of him walking around, not just one. It is the only time Jordan and I have screamed at each other. And it was because I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to be the one with the controller. I couldn't figure out what I was doing, so I was throwing it at him, and he couldn't figure it. He was getting frustrated. And was like, "I'm gonna break this. You have to take it back." And I was like, "But if I take it, we're just gonna lose." Like I can't. I suck, and I don't know
I
why.
mean, I think you should feel better that as someone who I would say I'm seasoned at playing video games. I am by no means good at playing video games. I am terrible at video games. I just like playing them. But I, for one, know that I personally get stuck all the time playing video games. I just persevere, and sometimes I just like, okay, I'm looking up a guide. Like that's just the way it is. That's just the way I play video games. So I don't think you should be discouraged from playing games because you think you're not good at them. I think there are maybe not billions, but millions of players that play that suck, and they play a lot.
Yeah.
Most people that play games are bad. Like this is a fact. Like it's just.
And I think I'm still figuring out. Like, yeah, it's. I look up so many walkthroughs to get through things because I get frustrated.
I have one pulled up, so I don't miss any of the outfits and Guardians because I don't want to have to really be paying attention.
That's a great idea. I should probably do that.
I realized there were more outfits after I went through the first 2 chapters, and I was like, crap. Damn.
Big same.
And it's just like, I don't know. I struggle too because I like story-based games. I don't like games where I'm just supposed to be walking around and figure out what to do next on my own.
Like
it's why,
like,
yeah,
like being told what to do, where to go.
Yeah, like you go somewhere, you do something, and then someone comes up and says to you, "Okay, cool, now," and like you go, like I'm struggling with I'm playing Breath of the Wild for the first time.
I'm sorry.
And like I don't know what's happening. Like I keep texting Jordan. I was like, I'm in a field, and like I don't know where I am, and he's so slow.
Here's my thing.
That's anywhere in the game.
Breath of the Wild is probably like my favorite game of all time. If you're a linear player, I would never recommend it to you. If you're just like,
this is the thing. Immortal Phoenix Rising is probably one of my favorite video games that I've ever played. And Jordan was like, then you have to play Breath of the Wild because they're basically the same thing. No, they are not. No, they are not. They are absolutely not the same thing.
One's a Ubisoft game, so they have waypoints and like markers for everything. Breath of the Wild does
everything.
Not. You have to do that yourself.
Yeah. And Jordan was like, but everybody says they're exactly the same. I was like, if you haven't played Immortal Phoenix Rising, don't trust, and I know this is who you're listening to, blessing that they're the same game. Because they're not. That's all he's going off of.
My dogs are whining a lot, so I'm gonna let them outside. I'll be right back.
They're sweet.
Hello.
One of the best parts of shared screen is our pets.
Yep.
Look at that sweet boy. Look at that little butt.
The dog or Austin?
The dog. The dog. I get so distracted because Austin has a kitten and 2 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
No, they also have the other cat, his girlfriend's cat, Chloe. And like anytime they're in the background, I'm not listening. Like I'm not listening to anything that's being said because I'm just
like the idea you're talking and you're just staring at the dogs.
Yep.
You're just
I've said it before on podcasts where like Chance will say something. I'm like, I'm staring at your dog in the background. I have no idea what you just said to me. I'm so sorry.
So I had a lot to talk about, and I think we're gonna continue the party on your end later at the grind. Is that what I heard? Or
at some point.
Yeah. Okay. So there's gonna be more, and there's gonna be more of us there. Everybody got bitten the eyes by snakes or whatever the joke is. But what I want to ask you guys, where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years?
No idea.
Is Waypoint an actual profitable thing? Like you guys have a studio, or is it still just a part-time thing?
I mean, I feel like the logical answer for me personally is we're just continuing to grow and find our footing. I think we have found more of our footing in this space that we've made, but I don't think we by any means have like it figured out, if that makes sense. So in 5 years, I would hope to say that we have it figured out and we're going towards a set goal. And I know that might not seem like the best answer, but it's just like we're still figuring it out, kind of. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I actually like when Lear and she started doing these meet the crew posts on our Instagram, and basically I asked that same question. And I'm just like, honestly, I really think that eventually I would love to get everything monetized and be profitable, but honestly, I would just love to have us keep making what we're passionate about, and just keep making dope shit.
Yeah. I think we'll still be making stuff. I would love us to have a studio in 5 years, but the logistics of that seem very difficult because no one lives in the same state.
Yeah.
Josh doesn't even live in this country.
Chris and I are the closest at 5 hours apart from each other.
We're gonna have a studio, but Josh won't be there.
Yeah. Chances in Colorado, right?
Utah.
Never mind. That doesn't work.
Mountain time.
Yeah, mountain.
Or mountain time.
Me and Josh are mountain time. Yeah. Are you too?
Well, no, I'm central, but like that,
Okay.
you're like you two are like the only people I know that are
I
in
think
mountain.
I think we have somebody in every time zone because you two are mountain time. Me and Bo are Pacific.
Nope.
Jordan's
Bo
Eastern.
is in Philadelphia.
Okay, so Bo and Jordan are Eastern.
Opposite side
I'm
of the country.
Pacific.
And Chris and
No idea.
I.
And Chris.
Four of us are Eastern.
Yeah, and then Austin's Central and Brett is Central. Yeah.
Yep.
So like we have somebody in every time zone, and like it's great.
So that's why we always have to put like Eastern.
Yeah.
It's been very confusing when it's put like 6 p.m.
Oh, we're working with more time zones than that.
It's a dumb thing for me because for like 6 p.m. is like 5 p.m. for me. So I'm like 1 hour back. Got it. But sometimes if I remember 5 p.m., I'm like, does that mean it's 4? Like I get it. I just keep taking steps back. I'm like, wait a minute.
Somebody messaged me in our Discord and went, "We are recording at 6 p.m. with recording this at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific." And so I thought to myself, okay, it's 3 p.m. Pacific. It was 11:30. I was like, fuck, I have to be on a podcast in half an hour. No, I don't. No, you don't. No, you don't, you dumbass. Like,
at some point, we're just going to have to write out every single time zone just so people
just a list.
And it's great.
That's why. So we started. I don't know if you guys have heard of Time Tree. It's
like a shared Google Calendar.
Yeah, it's basically like that. It automatically does all your time zones for you. So basically, you put in the time, and then whoever looks at it, it will have the time for them. So if I say something's at, 1 p.m., somebody like McKenna can look at it, and it'll say 4 p.m. for her. So it kind of does all that stuff automatically.
So like right now for me,
helpful.
Right now for me, this is like at 5 p.m. and for Gage it would say 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which is
so
really
share
nice,
screens.
especially when you have
We're
people
gonna make a.
New Zealand and shit.
It's free. It's Time Tree.
I feel like that would calendar,
right?
That would be fantastic. But for like the first couple podcasts, I'd be like, oh, so that means it's 4. And so it would say 5 for me. And I'd be like, oh, that means 4, cool. And then I'd show up at 4, and I'm like, where is everyone?
I think that is a very useful piece of information that we just gathered about Time Tree, and we should implement it immediately because this is such a hassle.
You guys do so many shows, you might as well just do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put in the meetings tab on our Discord.
Time Tree.
We'll talk about it. Tuesday.
The scheduling has been an issue just because we are all so busy that it is hard to get people scheduled for a podcast. So
oh yeah, there were supposed to be 5 members of us here.
Okay, can you imagine a podcast of 10 people?
Oh no, yeah, it would have been crazy. But
yes,
I would have loved it. I would have loved it.
No, you know what that is? You know what that is? FCF watch-alongs.
Yes.
Is like 20 people.
I can't wait for those.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. Yeah, if anybody watching wants to join us for FCF watch-alongs, just follow like the Patch Notes Twitter account. I'll just join the Patch Notes Discord because that's where we do them. Because I started hosting them this year, and oh my god, I just want to do it again. I can't wait for that again.
We literally at the night of the championship game, we recorded after that one of the episodes of The Grind with the Twitch Angels mod team, and that might be one of my favorite episodes because we won the championship. We were a few drinks in, and it was a good podcast.
A few.
Be modest. Be modest.
I would have expected way more from you. No, but like those were like some of my favorite times
I had
because
a podcast, so
those are like some of my favorite times because like sometimes we would just be in the Discord after the game too and just talking,
just chill till like 2 a.m.
So much fun.
It's like, oh wait, it's 3 a.m. I don't want to mess up my sleep schedule. I gotta go.
I believe.
Can't wait. Oh, but yeah. So basically, no idea what's gonna happen. 5 years.
I just think it's a creative outlet for all of us, and so we're not wanting to put like really like any sort of like name to it because it is a place for us to come and do things that like we aren't able to do elsewhere. And so I don't know that we've actually sat down and like talked about plans for the future. And for me personally, I hope that I'm still making content that I enjoy making with my fellow people at Shared Screens, and just that's like what I hope for. Whether the scale is irrelevant, whether or not like we're making good content. That's where I hope to see us.
Yeah, it's always about who you're making it with and what
Mhm.
you're making. Yeah, because it would be nice, right, to be able to make some money off
Yeah,
of what
for
you're
sure.
doing,
Mhm.
as long as you're
For
enjoying
sure.
it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, very important.
Usually we would do community questions, but whoops. I don't have access to the Twitter account, and the people that do forgot to make a post. So,
Cool.
so, but I
Yeah.
guess
Sorry.
Cool.
no, but yeah. Anything in the near future you guys are looking forward to, at least that you can
Actually,
talk about, or you
for
want to talk
me
about?
this week, I don't know, not sure when this is getting uploaded, but the show that I actually created myself or thought of,
Yeah.
it's called Origins, is going to be launching, and it's basically it's a little different for us because it's actually a short form video rather than a podcast.
Mhm.
Kind of aiming around the 10 to 15-minute
What?
mark.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
You can do that?
Yeah, yeah. But it's kind of more like the highly produced video. Like
Mhm.
it's gonna be like it's basically the show is the games that turn video games from like a hobby into a passion. So like for me, this episode it's gonna be about Twilight Princess and Uncharted 3. And it's basically, it's one of those shows that, I've always been the technical person, the editor, kind of that person at Shared Screens.
Grind the chair.
So
Yeah.
having yeah, so having a show that actually like I created is I'm honestly just stoked because I have the episode all edited, and I've talked about it now with the crew, and it's like I know I made this and all that, but I think this is dope. Like it's just a good video, I think. So I can't wait for people to see that.
I get that. Yeah, no, I get that. When you make something and you're just putting all the like your
Mhm.
energy and all of that, and you're like, oh, what if I throw this in there? What if I throw that in there? And it's just,
Yeah.
it's so much fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I totally know what you're saying.
So it's gonna be kind of like a documentary-esque show about people just talking
Mhm.
about the games that turn video games from a hobby into a passion.
Hell yeah.
Anything else? Any other weird things coming up?
I mean, probably. Do I know what they are?
Yes.
No.
No.
Isn't it weird like how much views reacts get? Like not just you guys, but
Yeah.
like we posted a reacts to the Batman. We never do reacts. We posted a reacts to the Batman trailer, and it got like one of the most views we've gotten on a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Or Xbox
yeah.
conference. Literally
Yeah.
our most viewed video from E3
Okay.
this past year.
But you guys had Chris, so
Yeah.
like you guys had Chris.
But it's not like a
We
breakout.
sure
of it.
did.
It's literally the entire conference is the
Bottom
video.
right
that people-
guy.
Mm.
He's sour about it too because he edited down like a nice, good, like concise version of
half
it.
hour, 45-minute.
Yeah, and it got like no views.
Really quickly, Alec, I was gonna bring this up if Chris was here, but
Yeah.
do you remember when Greg called him PD Popoff?
Yes.
What? When was
Yeah.
this?
Wait,
This is like in a stream.
This is
I
during
remember-
Reaper's actual birthday. This is during Reaper's past actual birthday, and Cool Greg came into the chat, and he was like, "Oh shit, PD Popoff," and Chris was like, "That's my name."
KFBF.
He was like, Chris was
That's
like,
me
"That's
now."
my name. That's who I am," and then it was a different KFBF. I think of that anytime I see Chris excited. It's like that's a PD Popoff right there. It's my PD
Now
Pop.
he's bottom
Nah,
right guy.
He's bottom right guy. Yep.
He's
Yeah.
bottom right guy.
Mhm.
Well, this is a blast. Where can people find you guys?
So
What
the
are
best way
our
to find
socials
us. Well, that's what I was just gonna say, because we had to do the rebrand. We weren't able to get the same username on all platforms. So the best way to find us is to go to bio.link/shared screens, because that'll have links to our YouTube, our socials, and our new merch store.
Oh,
I keep forgetting that's a thing.
very exciting.
So
You guys are doing a great
literally
job
have a shirt.
promoting it, Jen.
I wore my shirt like 2 days ago. It's somewhere. Can confirm.
What about individually? Where can we find you?
Hey, you can find
Uh,
me over on Twitter at albob875.
You can find me on Twitter at Austin_Ernie. It's just my name, but there's an O in the name. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You can find me at It's Perchance on Twitter.
you can find me at It's Lear Jazz. Or no, it's not. That's my Instagram. Never mind. You can find me on Twitter at just at Lear Jazz. Yeah. I feel like I should spell that, but it actually is spelled like it sounds, I promise.
And you can find me at some other Josh on all social media platforms across the board.
Do you guys have any final closing words of wisdom for viewers, listeners, anything you want to leave us out with?
Annual does not mean or it means once a year.
Once a
Does
year.
not mean-
Annual means once a year.
Once a year.
Yes.
Annual means once a year.
Yes.
Why would
Nice.
anybody think
Those
anything
are-
different? You know, why would anybody
Yeah,
think anything else?
Exactly.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably have a migraine.
Stuart Little could also beat Ratatouille in a fight.
Shut
and-
up. No,
Nope,
kidding.
that's not part of this.
It's not even
That's
his
not part of
name.
it.
It's not even his name.
Name
Ratatouille,
is
Remy,
Remy.
whatever.
Your name is Remy.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on Ever League. Thank you so much for watching, viewers or listeners. I hope you had a blast. This was a train wreck, and it probably
I
a lot of
loved
fun.
it. It was awesome.
It was fun.
It was
This
so
is
much
so
fun.
fun.
Everything
Uh,
is correct.
Is this the first annual shared screen Simply Sassy crossover? Probably. Let's have to wait and see.
Let's hope it's more often than annually.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have us on the grind, right? Was the
Yes.
plan? So
Yeah.
tune into that when that happens, and also follow them, follow us. Be sure to give us a like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment. What did you think? Wasn't it kind of weird that we were talking about really serious shit while Gino jumped in at a wedding?
That literally
Wasn't that
derailed the
great?
rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. And you guys are all out of our league.
No.